Talked about September 11th in one of the Republican debates back in May, and this is what you said.
They don't come here to attack us because we're rich and we're free. They come and they attack us because we're over there.
Because we're over there. Then you added this on Tuesday. But Al-Qaeda has determination. The determination comes from being provoked. How have we, the United States, provoked Al-Qaeda?
Well, read what the ringleader says. Read what Osama bin Laden said. We had a base, in Saudi Arabia. That was an affront to their religion. That was blasphemy as far as they were concerned. We were bombing Iraq for 10 years. We've interfered in Iran since 1953. Our CIA has been involved in the overthrow of their governments. We're right now in the process of overthrowing that nation. We side more with Israel than Pakistan, and they get annoyed with this. How would we react if we were on their land? If they were on our land, we would be very annoyed and we'd be fighting mad.
So under your doctrine, if we did not have troops in the Middle East, they would leave us alone?
Not immediately, because they'd have to believe us, but what would happen is the incentive for Osama bin Laden to recruit suicide terrorists would disappear. Once we left Lebanon in the early 80s, the French and Americans and Israelis left Lebanon, suicide terrorism virtually stopped, just like that. But while we were there, that was suicide terrorism killed our Marines, because we were in Lebanon. So we have to understand that. We have to understand how we would react if some country did to us exactly what we do to them. And then we might have a better understanding of their motivation, why somebody would join the Al-Qaeda. Since we've been over there, Al-Qaeda has more members now than they did before 9/11. They probably had a couple hundred before 9/11.
It sounds like you think that the problem is Al-Qaeda. The problem is the United States, not Al-Qaeda.
No, it's both. It's both. Al-Qaeda becomes the violent. It's sort of like if you step in a snake pit and you get bit, who caused the trouble? Because you stepped in the snake pit or because snakes bite you? So I think you have to understand both. But why produce the incentive for these violent, vicious thugs to want to come here and kill us?
Do you think there's an ideological struggle that Islamic fascists want to take over the world?
Oh, I think some, just like the West has wanted to do that all the time. Look at the way they look at us. I mean, we're in 130 countries. We have 700 bases. How do you think they propose that to their people and say, what does America want to do? Are they over here to be nice to us and teach us how to be good Democrats?
So you see a moral equivalency between the West and Islamic fascism?
For some people, some radicals on each side, that when we impose our will with force by a few number of people, not the American people, I'm talking the people who have hijacked our foreign policy, the people who took George Bush's foreign policy of a humble foreign policy and turned it into one of nation building, which he complained about.
The president himself?
The president himself has changed the policy. He ran. I like the program he ran on, and that's what I defend. And but all of a sudden, and it didn't change after 9/11. It changed at the first meeting of the cabinet, according to Paul O'Neill. He says immediately it was on the table. When were we going to attack Iraq?
You mentioned